All right, hello everyone. My name is Isaiah Cartwright, lead game designer, Guild Wars 2, and we're gonna talk about kind of new players and some hints and tricks for everyone. So I'm starting out here on one of my accounts. Has nothing on it. It's kind of what you would see if you were brand new to the game. I'm just gonna explain a little bit of the things that you're seeing right here on the start. You have your characters that you'll have down here. You can purchase additional slots if you want more characters. And then these are account medals. There's kind of different activities that you can do inside the game that will advance these medals in different ways. The biggest one here being map complete. You can kind of explore around the maps and unlock those. These three are story based. And then from here we have kind of some more advanced. We have PvP medal, a World v World medal. These are kind of two game types in the game. And then we have legendaries, which is kind of like an epic adventure for a weapon. So let's go into character creation. If you start your character, kind of the first option that you're given is the race. This will allow you to pick between different races in the games. The main thing this is going to affect is kind of your starting region. It'll also really affect how your character looks, although different races kind of have a very difference between them. And there's also a set of skills that are available only to each race. So this is a very big decision right in the beginning for you to decide and kind of click through and check out the different races. For now, I'm going to start with human. And so the next choice you get is between male and female. Really, this choice is mainly cosmetic. And different kind of feels in the game, the way things feel, and really kind of determine how you want to build your character. I like to make female characters, so here we go. The next choice that you have in here is going to be your profession. We have 8 different professions inside the game. We have an elementalist, kind of a magic user, switches between the different elements and can do many different things. The warrior, kind of your rough and tough melee character, can do some range with rifle and bow. Your guardian is kind of a magic using heavy armor character. You have your engineer, lots of little gadgets and turrets and things like that. Your ranger, this is our primary pet class. It has a kind of a pet companion with you at all times and uses bows and things like that. Necromancer, kind of master of the undead, can do minions and different ritual types of spells. The thief, this is kind of our roguelike class in our game. It's got stealth and different abilities like that. And then Mesmer. Mesmers can create clones of themselves and kind of disrupt the enemy in different ways. We're going to go with warrior today. I think if you're not sure which profession to make, there's kind of lots of different choices here. I'd kind of suggest just start off very first, play around with the ranger or warrior. They're very straightforward right in the beginning, and you can kind of start from there. But I really encourage everyone to play around with the different classes because their different styles can appeal to different people in different ways. Your next choices are kind of character customization, how you're going to look. You have the height of your character. The height of your character will not affect anything in the gameplay. All the different races all have the same collision hitbox and things like that. So height will just kind of affect the way you look in different rounds. I like to make small characters, so go with there. You have kind of different body styles that you can change, whether you want to change up how your character looks and feels. Lots of different faces, hair colors, skin color, all those different types of things. We're going to just keep going here and not do a ton of customization, but you can kind of customize all the different aspects of your character in different ways, changing all the little different pieces. And so that allows you to kind of really customize up the face to exactly what you want. We kind of have a different armor dyeing system. Every piece of armor has multiple different channels that you can kind of dye different pieces or different looks, and that allows you to kind of customize your armor. Our dyes also stay with your character. They're kind of unlocked as you would, and as you pick up new pieces of gear, it'll do its best to match the dye that you had before. And so you can kind of change the way your character looks by the different armor and pieces. All right. We're now starting to get into choices about that kind of make your character different. The first one is a cosmetic item that it's a unique piece of art that you can only get from different in here, and depending on which one you pick, you'll save it. So if you get new pieces of armor, it might be something you want to save for later. Different professions have different things. The next choice, this is kind of a personality. As you interact with NPCs inside the game, you'll kind of get a different mixture of these 3 personalities. And so they kind of allow you to determine what your character is how they act with other people. The next choice, this is the first one that'll really affect the first storyline that you see in the game. Kind of where you're coming from will determine the first story that you'll see, and so kind of choose where you want to come from and what your character is about. These are different for all the different races, so there's lots of different storylines to play and to interact with. Next is kind of the storyline that you'll play after the one that we just saw before, and what you're a big regret that you'll be overcoming for humans. Different races have different things that they go on these stories, but these will affect your personal story and kind of the path that you go through and seeing what the different story of the game is. And then this is another choice that goes on there. For this particular race is which god that you've kind of favor a little bit in different ways, and that kind of leaves you with this like profile of kind of what your character is, who you are, what kind of stories you're going to start to go through the game, and let's move on to getting inside the game. So the very first thing that you see once you've gone through is a little cinematic kind of setting up based on the choices that you just made. We're just going to skip past this and let you experience your cinematic the first time you're going, but I want to get right into talking more about how the characters go and what they can do. So right in the beginning of the game, you kind of start off in a smaller little zone that allows, some trouble is going on. It's very different based on which race you're playing. And some real key things. The way that we kind of start your story off is with this little green star, and this thing will continue with you the whole time you play the game, and kind of update you on where you can go to next. And so some other big elements, we have skills that are down here. These are kind of the things you interact with in combat. And right in the beginning, you only start off with one skill unlocked. As you kill creatures in the beginning of the game, you will slowly start to unlock these different skills. And then as you level up, you will unlock your utility skills. All professions, all characters get a heal skill. You are able to get different heal skills later on in the game, but you start off with one. And so watch your health. If your health starts to get low, you can use your heal skill. And so another thing that we have is kind of an auto attack feature. You can see the little arrows around the skill. You can have this be put on different skills, so you can hold control and then right click any skill, and it'll allow you to change your auto attack feature to different things. If you don't want to have it on skill 1, or if you want it to always heal, it can, based on what you're playing, you can do different things with that. As you can see, I've unlocked another skill here. This skill here allows me to kind of leap forward and cripple the target. And then the warrior's kind of special ability is as he fights different creatures and things, and as he does a hit, he gets adrenaline, and then adrenaline allows the warrior to unload a kind of special skill based on the strength of how much of adrenaline you get. So as you get farther up, you'll get a bigger bar of adrenaline, and that'll access you to more powerful burst skills. And so in this little zone, you're kind of running around and following the path, and it'll kind of teach you a little bit of the game. You'll see little hints that'll pop up for you at different times. The way our kind of hints work is, like if we're trying to hint at you to move, if you see someone moving around, then the hint doesn't pop up for that. But if we see that you're like low on health and that you need to use your heal skill, it'll pop up and heal. So kind of you pay attention to those hints in different ways, it'll kind of teach you little things that you don't know. Also, going through the different areas, you can see the hints that did pop up, and you can kind of read about them and look at what you've seen or known through this little question mark up here. And so continuing to kind of move through this little starting zone, it's telling us to head over towards this garrison. As you can see, the little green star about where I should be continues to go up. But you can kind of take your time in here if you need, play around with the skills, fight. Another thing that we have is called dodging in the game for combat. This is really important for interacting with our combat and fighting different creatures and different things. The ability to dodge will, if you can click this bar, which will roll you directly backwards, but you can also bind it to a key, and when you press the key, it'll roll in any direction that you're going. So if you're moving forwards, you'll roll forwards. If you're moving sideways, roll sideways. You can also double tap the keyboard to dodge in different directions, depending on how you kind of configure your thing to set up. I prefer to use just a hotkey to dodge, and it allows me to move around. And dodging can do lots of different things. You move a little faster when you dodge, so when you dodge in different directions, you can actually kind of get places quicker. While you are dodging, there's a period of time where all attacks coming against you are evaded, and so they don't hit you. And so it can really allow you to get through. So as you're at this particular stage of this is in a first event you're kind of running into. Events appear kind of right here in your UI, and they'll tell you little activities or things that you can do inside the game. For this particular area, the gates have been closed for this garrison, and we're kind of defending it against these centaurs until they're able to get in there again. We kind of do different things like this in the starting area to allow players to kind of clump up and defeat different monsters and things like that. A little trick that you can do is, even while these gates are closed, you can actually go around the garrison and get out of the tutorial faster if you'd like. But I really encourage, if it's your first time going through here, to just kind of play through the little area and the different routes that you go. And so sneaking around to this outside, you can see there's going to be a big creature up here, or depending on when the event is going. You can sneak around this back side of here and get your character through the place a lot faster. And so that is one little way. So as you can see right now, there's centaurs kind of coming inside here, and we're going to go help the garrison out. And then a boss should be spawning up here, which is kind of the end of the event. And events are kind of marked with this orange kind of piece of UI on your map. You can also see, if you hit M, you can see events from a little farther away. So that can allow you to see an event while you're going through a piece of content and run over there and do it. Events will award you with a bit of coin and karma. And karma is a resource that you can spend all over the place, all over the world in different places. And so events are very good to do. They're also very rewarding experience-wise. So when you're leveling up through the game, doing events are a very good way for you to level up and get through the game. Some other aspects, if you hover over your skills, you can kind of see what your skills do. The little bits in red are called conditions. They're kind of negative effects that happen to your target. As you can see, when you look at your target, there's different conditions that are applying from the different people around here. There's also boons, like this particular creature has a boon called stability, which makes it so it can't be knocked down or disrupted in any way. And so those are kind of buffs and debuffs in the game, the common ones. They can kind of be manipulated by different stats, and a lot of different professions interact with the conditions and boons in different ways. Here's kind of the big boss creature of this newbie zone. As you can see, once we've defeated this, we will be out of this kind of little starting zone, and we will be in kind of what we call open world maps. The open world maps allow you to kind of go around and do different things as you please. And so we're going to defeat this elemental at hand. These kind of bosses are kind of these mega encounters that we have throughout the game. There's many of them in many of the different zones, and so as you kind of go around, you can kind of see these big group events that pop up, and some of them have different treasure chests and things at the end of defeating them, and so they can be very fun to interact with in different ways. Now that we've defeated this, the story kind of goes on, and you're moved on to the open world map. Every single race is going to have kind of a different little starting zone, kind of with different challenges and going in different directions, but they all kind of end continuing your story here, which we're going to just keep moving past because I don't want to spoil it for anyone that is coming in new. And then at the end of each of your kind of story arcs, you will get rewards with different items. Like in this one, I can either get a shield or a warhorn and a starting bag. And then you can continue to see your personal story and kind of how it's interacting here in your hero panel. Your hero panel also has all of your gear that you currently have. It has your stats and all the different weapon slots that you can eventually get. There's also kind of tab here to show you all the different skills that you can eventually unlock in different ways, and you can see weapon skills and how much you've unlocked them. And as you can see, there's a bunch of weapons I haven't used, but I have used the sword. And so now, depending on what my offhand is, and right away you're given an offhand, which we got the warhorn. You can equip the warhorn. There's a couple different tricks you can do to equipping. You can right-click on a slot, and if there's something available, you can equip it. You can drag it from this little spot, and you can also just equip it directly from your inventory by double-clicking it. There's bag slots in the game. As you can see, we started off with one bag. One of the things that I always kind of suggest that new players do and go set up, right when you first come inside here, there'll be a merchant with a little coin bit on the UI. If you talk to the merchant, they kind of have a few things that are real good to start with. Another bag, allowing you to get more bag slots to have more things. There's kind of two ways you can display your bags. You can have it so that the bags are shown, or put it into just kind of one big block, which is one of the things I prefer. You can also get a salvage kit. Salvage kits allow you to kind of break down an item into its base materials, which can be easier for you to kind of break your items down and hold more items as you're going out. And so this is kind of like a starting little town. There's little merchants all around here. Another big thing is that there's kind of food items in the game. Food items can give you lots of different abilities and more stats and things like that, and they're very good to keep up. I don't have any money right now, so we're going to go out and earn some more. Another thing that we have is the trading post. This is where you can kind of interact with all the different players in the game and get items from them, and it's going to be a really good place for you to gear up your character. And you can also sell items on the trading post. Looks like it's not coming up for me. We'll just keep going there. You can repair your armor as you die in different ways. Your armor will get repaired and need repairing, and that's where you can do it in all little towns whenever you see that little kind of broken red icon. And then there's kind of different trainers here. Trainers are where you can kind of reset your traits, which you get way later on. As you move around the map, you can see different points in different areas will kind of get discovered. They kind of go from a gray unlock state to, as you can see, we'll unlock this one, they unlock. Some of these different points, waypoints, you can kind of teleport back and forth between. So if I wanted to go right back to town, I could teleport and head that way. And then this is kind of your open world area. As you can see, there's this big map, and you'll be kind of slowly working your way and exploring through the different things. There'll be events all in these different areas. And there's also kind of these heart task regions that you can see. We're coming up on one. These different regions allow you to kind of interact with the area or help someone out, and you can talk to them, and they'll tell you different things that you can do to help them out. This particular one, you can kind of help clean up their fields. They kind of have some dead plants around, and you can kind of interact with objects. One of the things that kind of goes on in Guild Wars, we have items in the game that when you're holding them, like this bucket, will change the skills that you can interact with. So I can have this bucket and pour it on things, and then the world will interact with you in different ways. So here I'm going to water the plants, and I can slowly fill up my heart bar. And so there's all sorts of different kind of bundles and things that you can interact with in the game to allow you to do different things. And pouring water, there's kind of, in this area, an event can come up where bandits will start to burn the fields, and you can pour out the things with the water if you want. But kind of not attached to any of that stuff. You can just move on if you'd like. And as you kind of move around the different areas, you'll see that there's other hearts. Like here's a fisherman that's being plagued by some creatures around here, and you can help him out. And the world will change based on some of the things you do. Those vendors that are up here can be affected by the events that are going on down here. Sometimes a big brood mother will come roaming around here, and then the fishermen's up there won't be able to sell their goods, and you'll kind of interact. And so those are kind of the main different pieces for going around. As you kill creatures, there's chances that you'll get items and loot. And one of the big things that you want to do is keep your gear up to date. As you can see, like I've started off with the starting gear, but as you gain levels, you want to make sure that you're in the best gear you can. That'll make you level the quickest. And so you can buy items off the trading post, or you can buy items for karma. Those different areas will allow you to kind of get better gear. And so always try to keep your gear up to date. Also, food buffs all come with kind of an increased experience boost. So keeping food up is really, really good for staying up to date on how fast you can level. There's different things you can kind of interact with in the world. Here I'm kind of interacting with these little mounds, and a creature is coming up. And so you can see when you need to go interact with something, a kind of little dialogue area will pop up here. I have remapped my interact key to E, but it starts off as the F key. And you can kind of change all those different things. Here's kind of an options menu. There's lots of little things that you can change. Like the double tap to evade was one that if you just tap in any direction, it'll do the dodge for you. And if you don't like that, you can kind of turn that off. Along with all sorts of different little pieces that you can change around in your UI. There's kind of graphic and sound options, so you can kind of customize your experience, and then you can change the keys in which your kind of hotkeys, the way they interact in the game. Like I said, I changed my interact key to be E, but if you wanted to change it to whatever interact key you want, you can totally change that stuff around and kind of explore around. As you can see, leveling up my Warhorn skills slowly as I kill creatures, and so the more you kind of kill creatures in the beginning of the game, the faster you can unlock your weapons. Later on in the games, these things will unlock faster if you go pick up a weapon that you haven't used before, and you can unlock the skills very quickly and try out different skills and things that can play the game. On the top of this bar, you can see different kind of menus that you can interact with. We've kind of talked a little bit about the hero panel, where you have your equipment, skills, traits that you unlock at level 11, your story window, crafting, which you can go into town and learn different crafting, achievement panel, this is where you can go through the game and do different activities or different things and unlock achievement points. Achievement points will then get you these kind of new chests, which gets you money and all sorts of things in the game. And so that's the hero panel. You have your contacts list. This is where you can add friends to your list and see people who are following you and interact with them in different ways. This is kind of the options menu and some other game-related things if you need. Your inventory, this is where we're talking about with your bags, and you can see those different things. Some options. Certain items are kind of called collectibles, and you can right-click on them and deposit them. They will kind of disappear out of your inventory, and they go to your bank, and I'll go show you where your bank's at. Mail, different types of information can come at you in the mail. Like right now, there is this event going on with 2 different candidates, and they're giving you some different support tickets and telling you to vote for them. There's clearly only one good choice here, which is Evan. We'll move on from there. We have the Black Lion trading. You can kind of see the trading post that I was talking about from anywhere in the world, but you can only pick up items that you buy and purchase from the trading post areas, which I saw and showed you was down there. You have your guilds. You can kind of be in different guilds. Guilds are kind of community organizations where you can talk with different people, and there's activities and stuff that guilds can do and bonuses that you can get from your guilds. World v. World. World v. World is one of our game types where 3 different servers are kind of fighting each other. You can earn abilities that will help you in World v. World by playing World v. World, and you can kind of see the overall state of the World v. World game, and we can go check that out after we talk about the banks. PvP is another kind of direct head-to-head kind of game type where you're fighting, in around either 8v8, 10v10, 5v5, different ways, and you can kind of go and play in the PvP area by clicking on that button. So both of those are kind of different types of game types that you can go into and play around with. But we're going to just go look at that item that I sent away to the bank so you can kind of see where that stuff goes. And so in each town, this is kind of a major city, and there's one for each of the races, and one that all the races share called Lion's Arch. There's a handful of different things in the town that you can interact with. We're moving over here towards the bank that looks like this little kind of money bag icon. There's two types of kind of banks. There's your guild bank, and so if you're part of a guild, you can pass items back and forth between each other through a guild. And then there's your personal bank. And so as you can see, you got a little area of personal bank. You can kind of buy more personal bank slots, but one of the big things that the bank offers are these collections. And so one of the items that I sent over here is that Venom sack. We can just pull it right out of your collection, and you can put it back in. And that allows you to kind of store off crafting materials in different ways. And so it can be a really good way while you're out playing through the game that if your bag gets full, you can just deposit all collectibles and they'll send it right over here to the bank. A lot of those items are crafting materials, things that you can use in crafting in different ways, and if you would like to get them back, you can come and interact here. Here right in this town, you can also see the trading post is right over here, and then usually near this area is where you can kind of interact with guild NPCs to create a guild or buy influence for your guild in different ways. And then different cities are laid out in kind of different ways, but you can see there's different players. But in this one, there's kind of multiple levels. If you kind of look on your map, in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see these different level types of things that allows you to kind of view between the different levels of the map. And so we're on the bottom floor, which you can see right here. And so now you can, as you can click through that, trying to find where to go, you can see. You can unlock waypoints in the city. All waypoints inside the city are free to transfer back and forth. So if, here we've been unlocking and there's some crafting NPCs here, but if we want to leave, we can teleport out. If you can see, when you go to other waypoints outside the city, it's going to cost a little bit of money to travel. And so it's kind of a faster way if you want to travel back and forth to spend a little bit of money. And those are kind of the different routes. Some other things that you can do. I got the salvage kit. I didn't kill enough creatures to get anything, but you can salvage items into some of those base materials that you saw. So that's why it's always good to keep a salvage kit around, because when you get items that you can't use for your profession, then you can put them into your collections and can keep adventuring without having to go back to town. So I think that's all we're going to talk about for today. Just a little intro into the different ways and how to get your gear, what all your buttons mean, and the different aspects of logging in and creating a character. Just wanted to thank everyone for checking this out, and please follow our channel and have a good day.